We're only going to be on for a little while tonight because at midnight I have Political Hitman. And Political Hitman will air for an hour between midnight and 1 a.m. right here on the True Talk Radio Network. If you are watching this, you will be able to see Political Hitman. It will be airing on the True Talk Radio Network. I want to get on for just a couple of minutes. I wanted to talk to you because there's been a concerted effort. It has been an effort for a little while already, but it's getting stronger to stop me from posting on Facebook, to stop me from doing these kind of shows. The effort is happening. It is widespread, and it is not going to be successful. Let me just put it that way. It's not going to be successful. I am not going to stop doing the Howie Silbiger show. I am not going to stop posting political and funny and things I find interesting stuff on Facebook. I am not going to be intimidated by anyone. It's just not going to happen. I received, True Talk Radio received a letter this week from an organization. Now, I'm not going to name the organization because this might be litigated, so we're not going to name the organization. And the organization claimed that I am a misogynist, racist pig. This is what the letter of complaint that came into True Talk Radio said. Now, I read this, and they gave a specific episode of the show that I went back and looked at and watched, and there was no misogyny or racism or anything like that. I mean, this concerted effort it's all fake. It's all horrifically fake. There are people out there, people who don't share my political opinion, and that is perfectly your right to agree with me or disagree with me, which is why, by the way, that I always have open lines on the show. There's always a number that you could call in, and I like to do the shows live because if somebody disagrees with me, I appreciate them calling in or typing into a chat box or however they want to communicate their disagreement with anything I say. So there are people out there who can't stand the idea that there are people who disagree with them, who have opposing political points of view. And this is what really makes me, I wouldn't say angry. It disturbs me a little bit. I grew up in an era, and I know I'm ancient, but I grew up in an era where political debate consisted of two people who may not agree with each other, who may have opposing political points of view, and they sat and they talked to each other, and sometimes one was able to convince the other to concede a point, but most of the time it made for interesting conversation because it's always interesting to know what people think. It's always interesting. It's an intellectual exercise. I know what I think, but it's always fun to hear what other people think and what other people have to say. So this is what it is. This is fun. It's fun for me. It was always fun for me to be able to do that. I've been finding lately that a lot of the stuff I post, and sometimes I post stuff because I find it interesting, and sometimes I post stuff because I'm trying to make a political point of views. And sometimes I just post stuff because it's newsworthy. There's a lot of stuff I do on Facebook. And many different reasons I post different things. Not everything has a political connotation to it, and I found out this week that apparently I'm not allowed to post stuff that is just interesting to me. Apparently everything I post must have a political connotation. This is what I was told this week by people who like to fight with me and like to troll every posting I put up on Facebook and drive me crazy. I'm fine with that. That is your right. I wouldn't have accepted you as a friend if I didn't appreciate the fact that you were posting and you were responding to things that I post up. But sending letters to True Talk Radio to get me off the air is kind of fun. It's funny in its own way. The reason it's funny, and I'll explain it to you, because there is a reason it's funny. The reason it is funny is because I own True Talk Radio. It's my radio station. I own the network, the True Talk Radio network. I founded the network, and I own the network. It is one of the oldest internet radio networks on the net today. It was founded right at the beginning of the internet, right when the technology started to exist to allow internet radio to go onto the internet. I started a True Talk Radio. I ran True Talk Radio. It cost me a fortune. At the beginning, it still costs pretty much a lot of money to run True Talk Radio, and I've run True Talk Radio for years and years and years. So getting letters to take me off the air of True Talk Radio is not really going to convince me to do that. People who sent the letters also said that they would be targeting my advertising. They would be targeting the advertising because I express an alt-right point of view, they said. So they're calling me a Jewish guy, an Orthodox Jewish guy, a Nazi, and saying that they're going to target the advertising of the station. Go ahead. There are no advertisers. I don't know if you've noticed when I do these shows. There's never advertisers. There's no ads on the station, and I do that intentionally. There have been times. I mean, the show is listened to on the True Talk Radio network. The show is listened to by thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of people a week. Online, you could look at online. You could look at the statistics online. When I do the show live on Sunday nights, the show is listened to on my streaming site. So on the True Talk Radio Network app, our average listenership is around 8 to 10,000 a week. And I don't take advertisers. I've had people approach me who wanted to advertise on the show. I don't take advertisers because I don't want to be beholden to anybody. I want to be able to say what I have to say and cover whatever stories I want to cover on the show and not be beholden to advertisers. Independent radio is independent radio. So if I decide that I want to do a story that makes a certain company look bad, I'm not going to hesitate or hold back doing that story because they're an advertiser. It's just not going to happen. And so I don't take advertising. So they could threaten to target my advertisers all they want. The term racism, the term misogynist and racism and alt-right have really lost their bite over the years. At one time, when you used to call somebody a Nazi, you're a Nazi, it was the worst insult that you could possibly give somebody. You are a Nazi. Imagine. Wow. Nazism was the worst philosophy, was a terrible philosophy. The Nazis created, they invented the killing factories, efficient ways to mass murder people, efficient ways to commit a genocide. They created the concept. So when you called somebody a Nazi years ago, wow, that was an insult. Today, not so much, and not because the Nazi crime and the horrific actions that the Nazis took to destroy people has changed over time. I mean, historically, it's the horrific stuff they did back then is exactly the same as today as it was back then. History hasn't changed. The thing that has changed is the overuse of the term Nazi. So suddenly, whenever the left or anybody who leans left disagrees with something you say, you either become alt-right, which is the code word, the left-wing code word for Nazi, or you become a Nazi. You become a racist because they disagree with a political point of view. It has nothing to do with racism. It has nothing to do with Nazism. It just has to do with the fact that they disagree with something you said. Words matter. I've been yelling this for years. Words matter. I screamed 10, 15 years ago. I was screaming on this show that the Jewish community uses the term anti-Semitism too much. That everything that happens, every little thing that happens, the Jewish community is screaming anti-Semite. And when you cry wolf, when the real anti-Semite jumps up, nobody recognizes him. Nobody cares. Nobody listens to you. You've burned out the word. And this is the problem that the Jewish community ran into with anti-Semite. I stopped using the word anti-Semite on the show altogether. I used the word anti-Jewite. I used the word Jew-hater. The reason I did that, and I started doing that about 10 years ago, and the reason I did that was because I felt that the term anti-Semite didn't have the bite to it anymore. And calling someone an anti-Semite, they just kind of shrugged their shoulders and said, yeah, so. Calling someone a Jew-hater, on the other hand, they were like, whoa, I'm not a Jew-hater. I don't hate Jews. It had a more meaningful impact. So I changed the word I use. I also stopped using the word pedophile. I started using the word child molester or child rapist. I said, you know what? Instead of shielding and blunting the impact by using words that kind of blunt it, that are a little wishy-washy, let's go straight for the jugular. Who am I going to insult? If you're a Jew hater, I don't care if I insult you. You're a Jew hater, you're a Jew hater. Own it. Be proud of the fact you're a Jew hater. If you're a child molester, be proud of the fact you're a child molester. Own it. Own your decisions. I own everything I do. Own what you do. So, a message to the people who are trying to get me off the air. It's not going to work. I'm still going to keep going. You're not going to stop me. A message to the people who post on every single Facebook post I put up and try to disparage me and call me all sorts of names and try to question every single word that I write. It's not going to work. I'm still going to post. I'm not scared of you. I never was scared of you. I never will be scared of you. You don't scare me. You don't intimidate me. And I honestly, with all my heart, I'm telling you the truth. I don't care what you think of me. That's the honest truth. I don't care what you think of me. People look at me like I'm crazy when I say things like that. They're like, Howard, what do you mean you don't care what we think of you? Everybody cares. Everybody wants to be liked. Everybody wants, you have a radio show. You have to care what people think about. I don't care. I don't care. There's the honest truth. I don't care. I don't care what you think of me. I have my opinion. I'm entitled to my opinion. You have your opinion. You're entitled to your opinion. I hardly ever disparage you for your opinion unless it's something totally stupid, but then I won't call you stupid. I call your opinion stupid. I always attack the opinion. I always attack the political argument. I never attack the person. Why? Because I'm normal. That's why. Because I'm normal. Normal people have conversations. Normal people don't attack each other and try to rip each other down. Normal people talk to each other and sometimes try to rip each other's ideas down. Now, there's a difference when you attack the idea than when you attack the person. When you start going after someone personally over a political argument, you are essentially losing. First of all, you've lost your argument already, because the rules of debate are once you get personal, that's it. It's over. You've lost the argument. But aside from that, when you attack somebody and you try to rip somebody down because you disagree with something they said politically, because you hold a separate political opinion, then what do you achieve? Where do you win? What's the end point? Destroying somebody's life, taking somebody's career? What's the end point? Where does it end? I'm curious because I don't know the answer. So if you want to give me an answer, you can give me a call, 1-877-669-1292. I don't know where it ends. And that's what scares me most about the situation. The fact that when people disagree with you, they don't go after the idea anymore. Now they go after the person. Now they go after you. And they make it personal. Now, when people get personal with me, somebody got personal with me yesterday over a political point. He said, oh, well, somebody who just got their teaching degree and just got licensed to teach, and someone who claims to be a journalist should really be... Whoa, 1 second. What does my professional designation have to do with anything? You disagree with my point of view? Well, then give me your argument. If I am factually wrong, put up the facts. But to come after me personally and to attack me personally, it seems stupid. In my opinion, it seems stupid, and I can't find a better word to put there. It feels stupid. If I attacked you personally for everything you said and everything you did, and I attacked you because I disagreed with you, and I went on a personal level to attack you, wouldn't that make me look like an idiot? I think so. I think it would. I think it would. And really, I honestly, I appreciate everybody who talks to me. I appreciate everybody who gives me feedback. I appreciate everybody who posts up. And even the people who post up and are annoyingly posting, I appreciate them too. I appreciate everybody. But don't get personal. There's no reason to. It's a political argument. I don't hold politics very personally. It's not part of my. It's not part of my my being. I'm a political commentator. This is not a news show. I never claimed it was. I don't run a news site. I never claimed to do that. I am a political commentator, and being a political commentator means that I do exactly that. I give my opinion. I comment on politics. Now, are there times when I'm wrong? Definitely. There's always... I'm human. Humans make mistakes. I've corrected myself plenty of times over the years, over the last months and years. I've taken down posts. I've come back on the show and said I was wrong last show, and this is the truth. So, am I perfect? No. Is anyone perfect? No. Do I make mistakes? Definitely. Am I human? Yeah. But the one thing I never do is I never go after you personally. I'll go after your ideas. I'll go after your actions. I'll point out the flaws in what you are doing. Whether it be an action or an idea, I'll point out the flaws for sure. I will formulate a political idea around stuff that you're doing, perhaps. But will I go after you personally? No, it's never personal for me. For me, politics is politics and personal is personal. I've had plenty of left-wing people. I'm a conservative, and I admit it. I've had plenty of very liberal people on the show. Over the years, plenty of very liberal people who have been regulars on the show. And we've argued it out on the air, fought with each other, yelled at each other, and then gone out for pizza after the show. Because that's what it is. It's a show. It's a political show. Do I believe in the politics that I espouse? Definitely. Do the people on the show believe in the politics they espouse? Definitely. We don't script anything. All the conversations I have with guests, all the conversations I have with regulars on the show is unscripted. We don't plan it out. I don't say I'm taking the conservative point of view, you're taking the liberal point of view. Commercial radio does that. We don't do that. Everything you hear on here is raw. It's unedited. It's aired live. And the conversations we have are real. But at the end of the day, even if we disagree with each other politically, we still remain friends. At least that's the way it should always be everywhere. But unfortunately, in the political environment we live now, that's not always the case. That doesn't happen. The political environment we live now, people give up friendships, years, decades-long friendships, because they disagree politically with someone. To me, that's terrible. It's a horrific way to live your life. I could argue with you, American politics, we can argue from today till doomsday. I express my opinion, you express your opinion. We keep talking to each other. We might come to some kind of amicable agreement to agree or disagree. We might come to some heated argument over Donald Trump and the upcoming election. We might come to some kind of a problem. We might have some kind of a problem accepting the fact that one of us supports terrorism and the other one doesn't support terrorism. But at the end of the day, our arguments, the stuff that we argue about, is never ever going to solve the issue, is it? It's great to have an argument. It's great to talk to each other. It's amazing to have this conversation. Conversations are very important. because it helps put things into perspective for people. So it's extremely important to have the conversation. But at the end of the day, your opinion, my opinion, to quote Humphrey Bogart, isn't worth a mound of beans in this great big world. So why break up a friendship over it? Why try to destroy somebody personally? Why try to ruin somebody's career? Why try to get somebody thrown off the air like the stupid letter writer tried? Well, why do any of that? I have an open line. I pay for an 800 number so that if somebody out there, and I've gotten a few calls, and I get calls regularly. So if you don't agree with something I say on the show, the number scrolls on the bottom of the screen. I read it out all the time, 1-877-669-1292. If you don't agree with something on the show, you could feel free at any time during the show to call in. I will answer your call. And if you are polite and you're not swearing or cursing or using language that's unfit to be aired, I'll be more than happy to have a conversation with you. Now, at the end of the conversation, we may agree, we may disagree, we may agree to disagree. But I will never, I won't lose respect for you because you hold a different political opinion than I do. I won't pull myself back and say, oh my gosh, I can't believe he said that. No, not at all. We are all raised, we are all born into different situations. We're all raised with different situations. We all have different experiences. And our different experiences give us different perspectives on life. I look at a situation very differently than you do and than somebody else does. Which means that my processing of the situation, my understanding of the situation, and my evaluation of the situation will be very different than, let's say, yours or somebody else's. That's human nature. That's the way it works. And so I have no issue with people disagreeing with me. I have no issues with people calling in and being part of the show who disagree with me. I have no issue with people posting on Facebook their disagreement with something I post. It doesn't bother me. The only thing that gets me, the only thing that bothers me, the only thing that gets me upset, and I'm upset because it makes you look stupid, is when people take personal shots. All right, that's what I had to say. I'll be on in about a half hour with Political Hitman. Please feel free to join me for Political Hitman right here on the True Talk Radio Network back in about a half hour. Until then, I'm Howie Silbiger. This is the Howie Silbiger Show on the True Talk Radio Network. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. Search for the Howie Silbiger Show. Click like on Facebook. It's always nice to be liked. And we'll see you